Hello there, welcome to a tyke farming in the Philippines. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, ding-a-ling-ding-dong the bell. It's Saturday morning, 6:30, nobody on site yet. It's very quiet this morning, Saturday morning, really nice and cool. So we'll go around and have a look at the drill. Just talking to Jean this morning, I understand better what was going on yesterday and the day before Thursday. Now, Thursday lunchtime, we got down to 75 feet on this well. And then Thursday afternoon, all afternoon, they were flushing it out, pumping out the water, getting the dirt from the bottom of the well. And then yesterday, Saturday morning, they were repairing the machine. And I was surprised that they spent all yesterday afternoon flushing this well out again. And then now I found out what was going on. They flushed it out Thursday afternoon, and then they measured it down, and the measurement they got was 60 feet. So they put the drill pipes back in and pushed them down by hand, got down to 75 feet again. So there was, in the bottom of the well, there was still 15 feet of mud in spite of flushing it out all afternoon. So that's why they started flushing out again all afternoon. Then they put the tubes down, back down, which they went down to 75 feet without pushing it down. So the well is clear. And that was late on yesterday afternoon. And then about 5:30 it was dark. No, it's probably 6:30. He came and got me. I was watching the television. And they were pumping water. And the water was dirty coming out the tube across the roadway there. But it was no longer muddy. So he was quite happy. So that's the well finished and working as such. Now, there's a seal in here which is gone. It says with it being pumping dry, this seal has failed and it needs replacing. It's got seals in stock. The seal is 850 pesos. He can't go down to Mandawi and get it, so he's having it sent up by motorbike, which is another 240 pesos. And he'll put that on today. So that'll be finished. And I would think by the end of today he'll have it all connected up to the tank. So yeah, it's looking very good. I did have a look when he was pumping, and the pressure gauge was 55 pounds per square inch, which is, it used to run at about 40 pounds a square inch, so there's more volume of water coming up through that pump at 55. Now, the original fellow who did the well, he was tweaking the outflow valve, and he was running it at 110 pounds per square inch pressure. and that's why he was blowing the bloody gasket on the pump all the time. The gasket what fits there. He had to come back 3 times, I think, charge me 5,000 pesos each time to replace this gasket. And that was purely with too much pressure, because the valve cock just cracked open. So yeah, it's pumping at 55 pounds pressure, which is more than before, but that's not too high. So yeah, it's all looking very good with this well pump. And at 75 feet depth, the steel tube goes down to 60 feet, so at least leaves 15 feet in the bottom to act as a sump, so it's not going to be sucking up muck. He did the same thing with the well down the bottom, but he didn't have 15 feet down there. I think he had 10 feet, I'm not sure now. He might have had 15 feet. So yeah, now the other thing, what's happened this morning, no flies in the savvy shop or the veranda. I haven't been down the piggery, might be the same down there. Now yesterday, next door, because everybody here blamed the poultry for the flies. Now they've just harvested a load of chickens there 3 days ago, and yesterday they've sold the manure. They sold 103 bags of manure, and then this morning there's no flies in the savvy shop. So it must have been the poultry farm responsible for all them flies. So that's good news as well. Got some heavy rain started, so that's going to be a problem again today, unless it clears up. So we'll leave this video there, and we'll make 2 or 3 videos throughout the day. It's 12 o'clock, we've just started lunch. I've been down Compostela this morning to the bank and the market for a few bits and pieces of vegetables, mostly in anticipation for the pork sales this afternoon and this evening. The pump's running. It's been running about 3 hours now. There's water coming out that end. If you replace the seal, which I've got here, it's a spring loaded seal. There's a white plastic on one side, like a nylon washer, and then on the other side is a brown plastic washer. As you can see, it's broken, and what happens, it was running dry, which generates heat, and whereas the nylon type washer can handle the heat, the brown plastic washer can't, so it gets hot, bakes itself, and then cracks and breaks up. So that's why it was pumping all the water out the side here. But yeah, it's running well. They put a wire cable in to join up to the electric, which is going up there and then to the junction box circuit breakers. So that's a better job with the electric wire. And then they'll be plumbing it in again to these tanks, and that's the float switch, which it switches the electricity on and off to the pump. That's already wired in there. So they'll be done this afternoon, I don't doubt. we've got the rig dismantled, it's all there, the pipes. Be interesting to see how they load that onto that little truck, but because it'll be 20-foot lengths. He's not going far with it, but eventually he'll have to take it back down Mandawi. And I think after this one top of the mountain is going to Leyte, so he'll have to truck it all on the ferry on that little truck. But all the pigs are fed and fast asleep. We'll go and have a look what they've been doing this morning. This afternoon they're butchering. So they've got all the firewood together and the hose pipes there. Here comes lunch. And some more pork. Lots of meat. So we're all shuttered up. Now Ramu's not working tomorrow, so we won't be pouring concrete tomorrow. But maybe Win will start on the foundations. Oh, maybe not. He's saying that the foundations here is going to go down 18-inch. And he's going to put 4-inch walls in, not 3-inch. Them are supposed to be 3-inch down there, but the between 2 and 3-inch. So he's going to beef it up, and he's putting heavier rebar in. And this is the area where we're going to have to put a drain, a large drain, because that's where the water will gather. And we'll have to take it out of this wall. Now the chicken shed's going to be here, so I'm trying to think of a way of bringing the water out and taking the chicken manure out with it, which we may or may not be able to do. But these walls, you see that wall there, isn't even 2-inch thick. 1 inch thick. Which for a fence is adequate. Now at the bottom of these panels, I can maybe no. At the bottom of these panels there's 2 or 3 of them with plastic pipe holes in the bottom, 4-inch pipe. But not every panel. But them 4-inch holes weren't big enough to take the water away. The water was flowing over the top of that septic tank, and the wall gave way in the weakest place, which was down the bottom post by joining onto the septic tank, and it was tie wired on instead of hooked over the VO bar. But I had an interesting comment I quickly read yesterday, I haven't replied to it yet, from a fellow who apparently knows what he's talking about. I think he said he was an engineer, but I'll have to read it properly. And he was saying the wall would have failed anyway, even if it was hooked over. So I'll have a good read of this comment and study it, and see if I can glean some information off him. But yeah, I'm sure we can solve the problem with a decent drain. So I'll leave this video there. and I'll do another one this evening. It's 1 o'clock, or just turned 1:05. So we're getting ready for butchering. Water's boiling. The pig's being selected. The big pigs. The 100-kilo pigs. I think last week it killed out at 79, so this week we'll kill out at 80 plus, I would think. So I'll end this video here. I'll pick it up again when the deed's done and we're in the shop with the meat. Shop sales with today's pig. All the innards are sold, they've gone. All the trotters are sold, they've gone. The head and the mask has gone. And up to 4:30 or so, she'd sold 5 to 6 kilos of meat. I've cut up a rib and I've cut up a shoulder. We're hopefully going to put the rest in the freezer tonight, because it's easier to cut up in the morning. It's not frozen, but it's firmed up. It's much easier to cut up nicely. And the meat's there in the shop, and there's some on the shelf what's cut up for sale. The only issue we might have is getting it all in the freezer. The freezer's going to be full, especially as it's not cut up. It takes up more room when it's in 6 pieces than it does when the 6 pieces are cut into joints. But we'll see how we go. If it doesn't go in, then we'll have to take out the ice water and all that. But it probably will. But we'll find out later. Back again. It's 5:15. Saturday evening. The workmen have left. The drillers are about finished. They've been pumping all day, flushing the system out through that pipe across the road. It's not quite clear, a bit misty, but it's not far off. And the pump's running, everything's functioning right. The only issue I've got with it is with this return pipe, which I've never had before. They're having to prime it. You open that stopcock and pour water down and prime it, which is alright if you're turning it on and off manually, but I'm not. It's the power supply is controlled with a float switch on the tank. When the tank gets half empty, it automatically switches it on. And I want the same function with this setup. It's not difficult. We do have this pipe here is blanked off. That comes from the tank on the roof. So I'll get him tomorrow, or I'll do it myself, to connect that to there. We'll need a reducer from 1-inch pipe to 3/4 inch pipe, so it will self-prime itself like the old system did, and then it'll be perfect. We'll have to extend the legs on that bit of the cover to go over the top of it, and job will be a good one. So there'll be vacating the site possibly tomorrow or Monday. Oh, it's Sunday tomorrow. They maybe won't even work tomorrow, so it'll be Monday, I would think. Now our workmen, I showed you lunchtime, I think. They shuttered up the other two dogs, stray dogs. They shuttered up the other two posts, and then this afternoon we were butchering. So matey is all by himself now. The one today killed out at 83 kilos. The one last week, and they're all a similar size, killed out at 79. So probably in a week the pigs put on 4 kilos. So this fella here, we won't be butchering in for a fortnight, so he'll probably kill out at near enough 90 kilos, I would think. Now, there's not a great deal of fat on him. On the shoulders there was I trimmed a fair bit of fat off, but overall on its back the fat was inch and a half at the very most. So they're killing out quite well. So yeah, that's about it. The pigs are fed, the feed in front of them. So we'll leave it there. Now tomorrow, Wynn's working, Ramel maybe. If he doesn't have to go downtown shopping for school stuff with his wife, then he'll come into work. But otherwise he'll have a day off. So I'll leave this video there. I probably won't post one tomorrow. I'll add a clip on to Mondays, I would imagine. So that's where we'll end this one.